and the Cavaliers, in which Peyton Watson is winding up in.
Nikola Jokic publicly stated just last month that the Nuggets' depth was their secret weapon, emphasizing the importance of every single player on the roster. So for Peyton Watson, a promising young talent, to be traded away for what amounts to future draft capital, it's a move that directly contradicts the championship philosophy they just established. This isn't just a roster shuffle, it's a philosophical shift. And what they just said proves exactly why.
Denver and the Cavs are Cleveland, Denver, and the Clippers, have agreed on a trade sending Peyton Watson to the Cavs, Max Strus to LA, and an unprotected 2031 Cavs first-round pick and a 2032 Kings second-round pick to the Nuggets. So the Nuggets are not taking back any player.
All right, so the core of the deal: Watson to the Cavs, Strus to LA, and the Nuggets get a 2031 unprotected first and a 2032 second-round pick. No players coming back to Denver immediately. This isn't a minor tweak. This is a clear shedding of salary and a long-term play. But here's what makes this even crazier. An unprotected first-rounder from 2031? That's almost a decade away. That's a pick they're hoping will be a lottery ticket when their current championship window is likely closed, suggesting a shocking lack of urgency for immediate impact. And that's not even the worst part.
To the Nuggets. So the Nuggets are not taking back any player, any salary, anything like that. Just that's how it looks. I don't know, like they were in this weird spot where they have to get off this salary. We've talked about that a bunch.
Just a naked salary dump? No immediate player return? This screams second apron avoidance over championship pursuit. The Nuggets are essentially saying that avoiding luxury tax penalties in 2025 is more critical than retaining a young, athletic wing that Jokic himself has praised for his defensive upside. Think about it. They just gave away a legitimate piece for a pick that won't even be drafted for 7 years. This is a cold, calculated business decision, not a basketball one aimed at 2024. And the implications for the locker room could be devastating.
Salary, we've talked about that a bunch. I mean, technically they don't have to get off there, but they should, and they will, because just the ramifications of all that stuff, second apron, etc. It's just too tough for a lot of teams, and most teams are treating that as a de facto hard cap, and so they also are trying to find a way to wiggle under that, and that'll be an interesting bit of the way that they run and handle out the rest of.
They should get off the salary. The fact that a reigning champion feels compelled to treat the second apron as a de facto hard cap shows just how much the new CBA has already reshaped the league. This isn't about building a dynasty. It's about managing finances under punitive new rules. It's a sad reality for a team that should be focusing solely on how to repeat. But the pursuit of financial flexibility, at the expense of player development and immediate depth, raises a critical question. What message does this send to their superstar?
Season. But nonetheless, though, they're not taking back any players. So DeMar DeRozan, though, is a guy that they have had their eyes on this summer. And I don't know if he'll wind up in Miami or something like that. But Mark Stein is also reporting that they feel pretty confident they can land DeMar DeRozan.
So instead of retaining Watson, they're feeling pretty confident about landing DeMar DeRozan. Now, most people hear that and think, veteran presence, proven scorer. But watch what happens next when you dig into the real cost and fit of that potential move.
And DeMar DeRozan, I don't know that that's an upgrade. I don't know that that's where they should be going. But with Jokic's contract looming.
An upgrade? With Jokic's looming contract and the urgency to maximize their championship window, is DeMar DeRozan, a high-usage mid-range scorer who's never been known for his three-point shooting or elite defense. Truly the answer for a Nuggets team that thrives on spacing and ball movement? They're trading youth, potential, and cost control for a veteran who, while talented, doesn't seamlessly fit their championship mold. The next clip is going to flip this entire argument on its head with a harsh truth.
Him something closer to Christian Braun's overall value, which is, and maybe it's not that they think it's an overpay, but again, it's just so many big salaries stacked on their roster. It's hard to do, right? There was a report that DeMar wants something around an exception level deal, so we'll see what happens with that. But they wind up in a situation where they get back a couple of picks. I don't think either pick is all that good. Cavs 2031 first rounder. Okay, maybe at that point, a handful of years from now, the Cavs are rebuilding and maybe that winds up being a good pick. It's hard to know, right? That's just so far out in the future.
The Nuggets, the defending champions, are operating like a team trying to rebuild around a superstar they can barely afford. A 2031 Cavs first rounder? Let's be real. Predicting the value of an unprotected first-round pick 7 years out is pure speculation. The Cavaliers could be a playoff team or a lottery team. This is a gamble, not a strategic move to improve their immediate chances. This isn't the kind of urgency you see from a team trying to win back-to-back titles. It's the kind of long-shot betting you see from a team desperately trying to recoup assets after a massive expense.
Being a good pick, it's hard to know, right? That's just so far out in the future. But maybe the Cavs somehow, some way rattle off a championship with Peyton Watson as a part of the core, and they don't really care at that point. Like, I don't know how things look in 5 years or what the future holds for the Cavs. But ultimately, though,
if the Cavs rattle off a championship with Watson as a core piece, the irony will be immense. Denver essentially gave them a piece for their future while they themselves are scrambling to fill an immediate need. Watson, a player with raw talent and the physical tools to be a two-way wing, showed flashes last season, particularly in high-leverage defensive situations. Trading him for a pick nearly a decade away feels like a profound misjudgment of his value in their current championship window. This decision highlights a fundamental misunderstanding of what makes a true dynasty.
For the Cavs, but ultimately, though, they're getting back a Kings second rounder. That's kind of whatever, but they can at least put these assets, if needed, into packages to offload more salary, get back other guys. I would assume that Denver is not done with just landing DeMar DeRozan if they wind up doing so, but I will say if they wind up striking out and not landing DeMar, that could be kind of interesting. Really quickly, I want to throw out there Max Strus.
The Kings' second rounder is indeed whatever, a throw-in that barely registers on the asset scale. And the idea of using these distant picks to offload more salary later reveals the real strategy: constant financial juggling rather than sustained roster building. This isn't about getting better, it's about staying afloat under the cap. A championship team shouldn't be focused on offloading salary. It should be focused on acquiring talent that complements their core. This is a dangerous precedent for future player decisions.
Wizards for Cam Whitmore. So the Cavs are also landing Cam Whitmore, who will give them a little bit of flexibility as a smaller salary, but also could be a player that they turn to if needed. You know, he can go out there, he can score, he can play for them if needed. Another wing depth piece.
The Cavs are not only getting Watson, but also Cam Whitmore, another athletic wing who can score. They're adding two young, high-upside players to their core of Garland, Mitchell, and Mobley. Meanwhile, Denver is shedding salary and taking on distant draft capital. This is a clear win for Cleveland in the short and long term, acquiring talent that fits their timeline. It screams of the Cavs being aggressively focused on future contention, while Denver is looking over his shoulder at the salary cap. It highlights a critical difference in priorities.
A deal. Man fills a positional need as Wizards have searched for additional guard depth in recent weeks, while the Cavaliers gain a small salary in Whitmore to create optionality under the first apron.
Man fills a need for the Wizards. Whitmore adds optionality for the Cavs, and Denver is essentially waiving a two-way player. This truly exposes Denver's role as the financial facilitator here, not a team making a proactive move to strengthen its immediate roster. They're the money man of this deal, as the host later says, but without the immediate tangible benefit of a player. The optics of a defending champion waiving a player simply to process a trade for future picks are not good.
And for contenders, yeah, there's still several teams that are interested in DeMar and his services. The LA teams are off the table for him, which is unfortunate being an LA guy. But, overall, there's Miami as well that is heavily linked to him and very interested in him. They've been really linked to Klay Thompson as well. So there's a few things that Miami's trying to sort out, but he might wind up in Denver. And I think Denver has a good role for him as a sixth man off the bench. He's going to get a lot of opportunities. I think he would fit.
The vision for DeMar DeRozan as the sixth man off the bench next to Jokic certainly has some appeal. He'd get a lot of opportunities, as stated, but at what cost? DeRozan has consistently been a high-volume starter. Transitioning to a sixth-man role, especially at his age and with his playstyle, is a significant adjustment. Furthermore, his lack of three-point shooting career, 28.5% from deep, could actively clog driving lanes for Murray and make Jokic passing less effective. This is a theoretical fit, not a guaranteed one.
Get a lot of opportunities. I think he would fit really nice off of Nikola Jokic as well. So that could be a thing. Assuming Jokic is healthy, they'll obviously still be a 50-win team. So I think that'll be DeMar having an opportunity that he hasn't had because he took the money, which I can't fault. He hasn't had an opportunity to be on a really competitive team for a few seasons now, and I think that'll be an opportunity for him. Now,
to assume they'll obviously still be a 50-win team with Jokic healthy glosses over the fundamental shift this trade represents. Chemistry and depth matter, especially for a team that just won a title on the back of collective effort. While Jokic can elevate any team, stripping away promising young talent and replacing it with a potentially ill-fitting veteran, even if talented, is a risky strategy. This move feels like a step backward from the cohesive unit that just conquered the league, and it flies in the face of what Jokic values most.
Names of free agency, and he's still a prominent name in mid-August as a guy that's out there on the free agent market. They are playing the extreme long game, and if you're him, you would love to have as many options on the table, but I would assume that, again, Cleveland is now off the table, having landed Peyton Watson.
The fact that Jonathan Kuminga, another highly touted young wing, is still a prominent free agent in mid-August underscores the scarcity of immediate, impactful options for teams like Denver. They traded Watson for future picks, possibly eyeing a DeRozan deal. But if they strike out on DeMar, they've not only lost Watson, but also missed out on other potential talents like Kuminga, whose market is clearly limited. This demonstrates the high-stakes gamble they're taking by prioritizing financial flexibility over direct player acquisition.
Say the Lakers overpaid. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as well. But overall, though, I really do like the way that Peyton Watson, if he works out, if he's healthy, etc., best case scenario, I do like the way that he fits on this team. He fits in timeline-wise with Mobley and Mitchell.
Cleveland landing the money man and the biggest fish in this trade, Orton, is the ultimate validation of their strategy. Watson's athleticism, defensive potential, and fit alongside Mobley and Mitchell's timeline make him an ideal long-term piece. The Lakers overpaying for Kessler or not is irrelevant. The Cavs recognize Watson's value for their future. Meanwhile, Denver is left with a void and a long-shot promise. This move by the Nuggets isn't just baffling, it undermines the very foundation of sustained championship contention, proving the financial win often comes at the expense of a basketball loss.
Mitchell, Harden, I'm sure he's excited about this so he can get his money, but he's not going to be there for much longer, just a couple of years probably, but I think they'll figure things out overall. But I do like the fit for him on that team. Not a guy that's going to be like super high usage. And Cleveland, after striking out on LeBron, did make a few moves. They brought in Hazonia as well.
Cleveland's moves this summer, from retaining players to adding Watson and potentially Whitmore, show a clear intent to retool and build around their young core. They struck out on LeBron, but pivoted intelligently to a plan B that strengthens their future. Contrast this with Denver, which appears to be taking backward steps, focused more on managing an unsustainable payroll than on fortifying their roster with immediate impact. This makes the East even more competitive, while Denver's path to a repeat title becomes significantly muddier.
As well, maybe that'll work out. Maybe it won't. It remains to be seen, making a return to the NBA for Hazonia. But they retained some players, and now they're adding in a starting forward that could be their starting forward, and they're hoping will be for the foreseeable future with that contract that they're giving him. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about this? Cleveland retooling, I think, in a big way. And again, in a competitive Eastern Conference, that's exactly what you want to see.
The Cavs are adding a starting forward that could be their starting forward for the foreseeable future with Peyton Watson. This is a team investing in its long-term success with tangible player assets. Denver, on the other hand, is hoping a 2031 draft pick eventually pans out, and that a potentially ill-fitting DeMar DeRozan can somehow bridge the gap. This isn't just a retooling for Cleveland, it's a strategic long-game win that makes you wonder if Denver has truly miscalculated the cost of this salary dump. What does Jokic truly think about trading away a piece of their future for financial relief right after winning a championship? That's the question no one is asking, and it's the one that ultimately matters most for the Nuggets' dynasty aspirations.
Don't you love August in the NBA? Right? Everybody loves it because we have trades, we have news, Kawhi stuff. It's been fun the last couple of days, man. But breaking news, we do have a new trade announced in the NBA in which it's a 3-teamer, but apparently there's a couple other things going on. So I guess it's expanded to 5 we'll talk about. But there's 3 core teams, the Clippers, the Nuggets.
Examining this key moment. Don't you love August in the NBA, right? Don't everybody loves it because we have trades. We have news, Kawhi stuff. This breakdown reveals crucial tactical insights.
In Cleveland. That's pretty interesting. That's been something that's been out there for the last couple of weeks. Initially, they were in on LeBron. Then it shifted to mostly being Kuminga. In fact, we'll talk about Jonathan Kuminga, DeMar DeRozan, 2 other big dominoes from the free agency pool that are remaining and where they potentially wind up going, because I think this has ramifications on that. In terms of Jonathan Kuminga, Cleveland now being off the board, most likely, unless he's willing to sign like a minimum, which I doubt he will, of course. And then
examining this key moment. Cleveland. That's pretty interesting. That's been something that's been out there for the last couple of weeks. Initial. This breakdown reveals crucial tactical insights.
But with Jokic's contract looming, all the things like that, I think they've got to find a way to continue to put out the best product that they can. Would that have been with Peyton Watson? Sure. But I guess they felt like they would be overpaying if they offered him something closer to Christian Braun.
Examine this key moment. All the things like that, I think they've got to find a way to continue to put out the best product that they can. Wool. This breakdown reveals crucial tactical insights.
That could be kind of interesting. Really quickly, want to throw out there Max Strus. He's got 1 year remaining on his deal, so I don't know exactly what all they're going to do with him in LA, but he's a good shooter, a good wing depth, and he could be a piece that they move as well at the deadline or something like that. So we'll see what happens with him. But nice acquisition. The Clippers obviously are not going to be. They've got some things to figure out. They're going to be completing that Kawhi trade. They're not going to be contending for a title or anything like that this season, but I think they still want to be good and competitive. And I think the roster is built.
Examining this key moment. He's got 1 year remaining on his deal, so I don't know exactly what all they're going to do with him in LA. This breakdown reveals crucial tactical insights.
Under the first apron. Brett Siegler reported a 3-team deal involving these teams that sends Peyton Watson to Cleveland will be turned into a multi-team deal for cap reasons that also involves the Hornets adding Dennis Schroeder and the 76ers.
Examining this key moment, Brett Siegler reported the 3-team deal involving these teams that sends Peyton Watson to Cleveland will be turned. This breakdown reveals crucial tactical insights.
Chris Haynes reported the Denver Nuggets are pivoting and have their eyes directed on DeMar DeRozan, which we talked about, who remains a free agent in demand for contenders. Yeah, there's still several teams that are interested in DeMar and his services.
Examining this key moment, Chris Haynes reported the Denver Nuggets are pivoting and have their eyes directed on DeMar DeRozan, which we talked about. This breakdown reveals crucial tactical insights.
An opportunity for him. Now, we need to talk about Jonathan Kuminga. So, Jonathan Kuminga, what's happening with him? And how things look for him with his options and how they've shifted up here a little bit. So we're going to talk about that and more in just a moment. Huge shout out to our sponsors, Prize Picks. Make sure you click the link down below in the description and get started playing with the code HMA. New users get $5 or play $5 to get $150.
Examining this key moment, we need to talk about Jonathan Kuminga. So Jonathan Kuminga, what's happening with him and how things look for him with. This breakdown reveals crucial tactical insights.
She could do that. And then Natasha Howard, less than 7 rebounds, certainly capable, but I'm assuming that in that game, we wind up less than 7. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. Hopefully you guys enjoy. And if you do decide to play, make sure you do so responsibly.
Examining this key moment, less than 7 rebounds, certainly capable, but I'm assuming that in that game, we wind up less than 7. So this breakdown reveals crucial tactical insights.